Hi my friends, today I'm in Kouba, in the upper parts of Algiers, one of its nicest neighborhoods here in this part of Algiers, and I'm near the Abdelhamid ibn Badis Mosque, one of the most beautiful here in the city, with its North African or Maghrebi architectural Islamic style, and you can identify these mosques with their minarets, which have a square base. And we are going to drive today from this neighborhood to La Concorde, another neighborhood of the upper parts of Algiers, not very far from Said Hamdin. So La Concorde is in fact an apartment complex, one of the nicest apartment complexes in Algiers, and it's okay, so it's not very far from here, although we are going to have to drive through a section of the southern bypass motorway in order to go there. So I have chosen to take this road here, a road that links the central part of Kouba to Vieux Kouba. This driver isn't being careful because he was at an intersection and he should have slowed down. In fact, he did, but you know, shouldn't scare people. Anyway, so this part on the left is known as La Croix. It's the part of Kouba known as La Croix. There is a Christian cemetery there. A cemetery that once belonged to the Pieds Noirs or the European settlers that lived here in Algeria during the days of colonization, the colonial era. And this apartment complex here on the left is known as La Vigerie. It's one of Algiers' oldest apartment complexes, and it's named after that French missionary who, in the beginning of the colonial era, attempted to convert Algerians to Christianity. And of course, there is a neighborhood now known as El Muhammadiyah. This is where the Algiers Mosque is located today, the third largest mosque in the world. And El Muhammadiyah was used to be called La Vigerie. And of course, when Algeria got its independence, it renamed that neighborhood El Muhammadiyah after Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Prophet of Islam. Okay, so now this is Vieux Kouba. This part of Kouba is known as Vieux Kouba or Older Kouba. There is an institute, a higher institute of teachers here on the right. It's a university for teachers. No entry sign, so we've got to turn to the left, and there is a parking garage here. You can see it on the right. I only discovered it this year, 2021. Wow. Spent a couple of years not visiting a neighborhood, and when you come, you find totally new structures, a totally new look. That's impressive. Algiers is truly changing. Now we've got to take the... Okay, so here we are in Garidi, and the Garidi cemetery is straight ahead. Now we're taking the right. This is Garidi 1. The apartment complex you see on my left here is Garidi 1. There is that footbridge erected here in order to let local residents cross the road safely, because as you can see, it's a wide road. It's almost like a like a motorway. And now we are headed towards Garidi too. It's only now that I realize how beautiful this area is with all these trees. And this is Garidi 2 with its huge roundabout. Let's circle the roundabout since we are here. And oh, just look over there. I can see the Blida Atlas Mountains. You can't see them. I mean, in the camera, on the camera they look very small, but for a fraction of a second, I got a glimpse of them. When you look at that area, all right, it's I mean, it looks much bigger. The mountains look much bigger with your own eyes when you look at them with your own eyes. So now we're in the Garidi 2 area, and of course Garidi was named after a local saint who lived here in the 18th century, Sidil Garidi, and he's buried. He has a small shrine where he is buried here in at the Garidi cemetery. The neighborhood on our right is Les Sources, and it leads straight. This road on the right leads straight to the central part of Birmora Drais. But in order to go to La Concorde, we've got to take the motorway now. So this is the exit to the Southern Bypass Motorway, or the Binaculur Motorway, Rocade Sud. Now, the entrance to La Concorde is on the right. There we go. It's a little bit tricky. And one would be surprised, you know, to see a road like this. On a section of the motorway, and here we are in La Concorde. La Concorde is such a nice apartment complex that has everything the local residents need. So there is this beautiful mosque here. The La Concorde Mosque. The older part of the neighborhood is on the right. And well, we're going to circle a few blocks here before we finish this video. And it only took us 9 minutes in order to come from the central part of Kouba to this neighborhood here. Those buildings right in front of us are in fact part of the AADL program, 2001-2002 AADL program. They were finished in 2007 or 2008, I don't remember very well. and they are now occupied. And there is a cemetery over there. It's the Sidi Yahya cemetery. In fact, we are on our way out of La Concorde, but we are going to turn around and come back. The place looks much more beautiful than it used to look back in 2008, 2009, when I last came here. And Saint Hamdin is over there. Okay, so we need to turn around again. Let's do it here. Okay, so Saint Hamdin is straight ahead. And as you can see, La Concorde is adjacent to Saint Hamdin. It's just next door to Saint Hamdin. And the Sidi Yahya road is straight ahead. It's down this road. Okay, here you can get a glimpse of the general outlook of La Concorde apartment complex with its beautiful buildings. So as I said, the buildings on the right here, they look more modern, and they are part of the AADL housing program. And the AADL is in fact a middle class housing program here in Algeria. Let's leave some distance between us and that van, so that it doesn't block the view. Because if I tailgate a van or a truck, they would, you know, because of their big size, these vehicles would block the view. All right, so we're back in the central part of La Concorde. And by the way, La Concorde is right above Berbora. So as you can see, La Concorde is in the middle of many important neighborhoods. It's on the southern. It's on the southern bypass motorway. It's also on. It's also not very far from Sidi Yahya, not very far from Hydra. It's on, and it's not very far from Kouba, as you have seen. Okay, so. You can see Hydra over there with that building, the Paradou building. And now we're entering the apartment block area of La Concorde. There are lots of stores near the mosque. It's a quiet neighborhood here. Although it's filled with cars, I think that parking is an issue here after all. But one thing we need to know is that La Concorde was built in a period when there weren't as many cars there are today here in Algiers. So the first residents who came and lived here must have, you know, lived some of the best. I mean, during one of the best periods one could live here in Algiers. And you can see there is a playground on the right. can see how quiet and beautiful this neighborhood is. The apartment blocks aren't very tall, just 4 or 5 floors tall, and they are clean and beautiful and still modern looking. Some blocks have up to 8 floors. Okay, so we are back to our departure point. The southern bypass motorway is over there, where you can see that bridge or the underpass. This is the mosque again. All right, so that was our drive from Kouba to La Concorde, to the La Concorde apartment complex. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notifications button in order to receive notifications about my future videos. Drive safely, take care of yourselves, and goodbye.